Hi, my name is Zai, and this is me playing Quake Live. This is my 45th mouse review, and I've been playing Quake since 1998, so I'm fairly particular with what I like in a mouse. But there are some things that most people seem to agree about, and the Rival 700 is going against some of that. First of all, this mouse weighs 137 grams without the cable. Generally, most serious FPS players want a mouse under 100 grams. Second, having tactile feedback, which isn't supported by many games at the moment, is kind of useless. And third, while an OLED display is fun, it's not worth the weight or the added cost. Now that we have that out of the way, let's look at why this mouse could have been a top recommendation. In another video, I said I was disappointed with the Rival 100 because I wanted a smaller version of the Rival 300. That's what this is, and it would be amazing. So straight up, SteelSeries, please make another version of this mouse without the gimmicks and keep the weight below 100 grams. Many of us in the competitive FPS community will love it. As for the details, ergonomic design with a 3360 sensor, SteelSeries switches, and as I said, over 137 grams. They're the four most important points to a mouse: shape, buttons, sensor, and weight. But in which order you prefer depends on the games you play. For the shape, it's important to know your hand size and grip style. My hand is about 18 cm base to tip, and about 9 cm across from the thumb to the knuckle of the little finger. This is a small to medium sized mouse with fairly steep sloping buttons, meaning you'll need a big hand to fingertip grip it. The hump is toward the back, so it's most likely designed for claw and palm grip. No comfort grooves in the buttons, just a ridge in the middle to prevent slipping. The dimensions are about 5.4 cm at the grip width, 12 cm base, 10.5 cm from the edges of the feet, and it's about 4 cm tall. This is a very common size with close to a 2:1 ratio, which usually feels best for aiming. When this mouse was announced, I was concerned with the angles on the back, and now that I hold it, while they're not bad, they could have been more comfortable if more rounded. Sometimes it's best not to be edgy. Still, there's enough there to hold onto, and it feels good in palm grip for me. When a mouse suits multiple grip styles, I call it a safe shape. This one is quite safe, as the sides are fairly flat, meaning there's plenty of room for your fingers, and the subtle edges help when picking it up. I'd expect people with hands between 16 and 19 cm could feel okay with palm and claw grip, but to fingertip grip, I'd say 19 to 20 cm. But if you have 20 cm and above, I think it'll be too thin to be comfortable, so be wary. The weight is 137 grams and it feels slightly unbalanced toward the back. Moving on to the buttons, here is a listen to the clicks. The left and right buttons are SteelSeries switches, which are light and good for MOBA and FPS, although my right mouse button doesn't feel as good. This is fairly common, as a lot of mice don't have the same feel for both. Mouse 3 is a bit too low and a bit tough to press in, and there is some tactile feedback on the wheel, but it's more suited to browsing documents due to its smoothness. The side buttons have very little travel and feel crisp and responsive. I really like these, although the front side button is a bit harder to press in. I like the placement, but not sure about the feel. And the CPI button is well positioned and easy to use. I can get my usual click score with it, but I can't jitter click, so I can't talk about that. And there was no obvious click delay detected. Overall, a good performance on the buttons. Moving on, the mouse is somewhat modular, so you can remove the back top, and they even give you a secondary cable, which is too short at about 1 meter. But this might be good for people who want to try different cables, as a 2 meter braided cable holds its shape a little too much and could scrape along the pad. With a mouse bungee though, no problem. The sensor can also be switched, but it comes with a 3360 optical, which is one of the best, if not the best sensor available at the moment. Let's check the implementation. This is human testing, so not exact, but a good indication of how they perform for us in game. So first, a quick rocket jumping test. No problem there. Now seeing if I can make it spin out or lose track. And of course, I can't. Zooming in to FOV1, this is at 1600 CPI at sensitivity 0.9, but it was also tested at 400 CPI. And it's doing well, of course. Basically, I'm just making sure it can track small movements, and that it's fairly smooth without being too smooth. Too smooth of course would mean that it's actually adding smoothing, which can cause a delay. Speaking of delay, as this mouse is heavy, I'm just going to say based on the other implementations, it's unlikely that this would have delay. It seemed fine in game. The liftoff distance is under 1 DVD, and they might add a feature to change that, but I couldn't find one yet. In testing for acceleration and deceleration, not totally accurate, but seems almost spot on, so that's good enough for me. In the line test we see no jitter, no angle snapping, and no skipping. The lift-off movement is well controlled, and there is no sensor rattle. So yes, the 3360 continues to perform at a high level, and the SteelSeries implementation works well. The build quality feels good. I probably won't use this much, so I can't tell you about durability, but as long as the sides don't wear out, or if they can be replaced, it should be okay. Other than the textured rubber sides, the materials are all mostly plastic, and they should last. When tapping it and shaking it, there is some rattle around the lens area, which is fairly common, so that's nothing to worry about. Otherwise, it feels quite solid. And on the base, there are 3 medium mouse feet, and they glide smoothly. Software-wise, this mouse can do 100 to 16,000 CPI, in increments of 100. Buttons can be reassigned to keyboard, macro, media, mouse, and launch program. The LEDs are RGB, and you can set several modes, including breathing and cycle. You can now even make your own gradients, which is a nice touch. Then you can add acceleration and deceleration if you want to, angle snapping, and adjust the polling rate. You can also change the OLED here. You can jump on this side if you want to download some different pictures to use, or you just make your own. So the software is quite simple, but it gives us the options we need, except changing the lift-off distance. Those are the important factors. Now here are some highlights with the mouse while I give you my personal conclusion. I really hope that they make a lighter, less gimmicky version of this. It would be a great addition to their product line. With the weight as it is, while I could aim decently, it was obvious that I was struggling. It's just too heavy. But the shape is great, it feels good, seems high quality, responds well, has a top sensor, and could have been a top recommendation for people who think the Rival 300 is too big. So in short, I really like this mouse, a lot more than I thought I would. And that's why I'm now really disappointed by the gimmicks. If you think you can handle the weight and it's the right size, then definitely check it out. But otherwise, I just want to say to SteelSeries that they've done excellent work with this mouse, probably the best quality of theirs so far. It's just those issues that I've mentioned that will stop me from recommending it. Hope that helps. If you want to support the channel, you can buy this mouse using the Amazon links for overseas, or M-Wave links for Australia, all of which can be found in the description. Subscribe for more reviews and gaming videos, and if you want mouse recommendations, please visit my website and use the search. So thanks for watching, like this video, and I'll catch you in the next.